In the world of technology, owning the rights to your ideas is everything. It's the key to being able to sell your product and protect yourself against other companies who want to steal your ideas. Let's say you develop a novel way to write software, or a new methodology for isolating DNA. You'd want to get yourself a patent for the new technology right away, because it ensures that for 20 years, you'll have exclusive rights to use the technology. But let's say you aren't smart enough to develop your own technology. Or better yet, let's say you have no interest in it whatsoever. You're only interested in the end goal, money, and you will do anything to get it. Patents are incredibly valuable, you realize, because it represents an exclusive right. Exclusivity breeds value. So an idea starts to form in your head. Companies are constantly creating patents for the technology that they develop. Companies also fail all the time. What happens to their patents when they go out of business? Somebody buys them up. You've got money to spend, and you know some good lawyers too. Why couldn't that person be you? It doesn't matter if you don't have any intention of actually using the patent that you're purchasing. That doesn't matter in the eyes of the law. The only thing that matters is ownership, and if you've got the means to own the patent, by law you own the rights to the technology. But the biggest question you need to answer is not if you should purchase up some patents, but rather, which ones? Choosing the right patent to gobble up could mean you could make bank, or it could result in endless lawsuits in which you walk away with paltry, if any, earnings. The trick is to find a patent that is both specific and general at the same time. What I mean is, the patent has to be about a specific technology such that its validity can't be denied. But it also has to be general, so that it would be easy for another company to accidentally use your patented technology. For example, in 2011, a company called Lodsys sued a handful of iOS developers, claiming that their use of the in-app purchase technology was a violation of their patent. They claimed that all the major players, Apple, Microsoft, and the like, had already licensed the use of the patent from them, and the developers had to do the same. This type of patent is perfect because it casts a wide enough net to catch a lot of fish, but is also specific enough that it will stand up in court. If you can find a company that owns that type of patent that is also going out of business, then you'll certainly be in luck. You'll be able to purchase the patent for pennies on the dollar, and then immediately turn around and start looking for infringers. To look for infringers, you'll start watching for popular products, news coverage, or analysis. You could also start to review published patent applications, so that you can catch any company who is developing a similar technology. The sweet spot is when a company either has a lot to lose, say you're trying to sue Apple or Microsoft, or they don't have a lot of money to spend, like a startup. After you've found some infringers, the next step in your scheme is to threaten to sue the companies for their use of your exclusive technology. This usually involves sending them cease and desist letters that threaten legal action if they don't stop the infringement. This is likely the first time that this other company will learn that they're actually infringing on a patent. Here, it's pretty unlikely that a well-established company will actually admit to infringing on your patent, but if they do, you can skip the whole legal process and license the patent to them. This will allow you to immediately start accepting payment for their use of your patent. For smaller companies that don't have a lot of money, they usually agree to license the patent from you, because the costs of going to court would be much more than they could afford. If this doesn't work, then you'll have to take them to court over the matter. A typical trial will cost anywhere from $1 to $2.5 million, so it's important to only use this option when you're confident that you have a high chance of winning. You mainly want to rely on the scare tactics of threatening a company with a lawsuit to get them to purchase a license from you. You also have another benefit at your side. Jury trials tend to be unpredictable and uncertain. Most companies will want to settle out of court to avoid the risk. One risk for you is that a company may request a re-examination of your patent with the US Patent Office, which could result in having your patent revoked if it's found that it's too broad. But this is unlikely to happen for a couple of reasons. First, the Patent Office has a huge backlog of examination requests, and not enough staff to keep up with it. Even if the company you're suing requests a re-examination, it may take months or even years for the results to be returned. That's still plenty of time for you to take them to court and bog them down in legal fees. Second, it's highly unlikely that your patent would be revoked entirely. It's much more likely that it would simply be reduced in scope. This could hurt you in one court case, but is unlikely to be a major stopping point for your operation. There's not a whole lot of risk for you. You buy the patents for cheap, do a bit of research, make a few threats, and boom, money flowing into your pocket. It's a foolproof scheme, wouldn't you say? In reality, patent trolling is a pretty gross endeavor, and these leeches suck the life out of actual innovation in the tech industry. It's estimated that it costs the US tens of billions of dollars every year. I'm not saying that patent law is bad, actually far from it. Patents themselves are a great protection against unfair competition, and they promote research and development. Companies that invent new technologies should absolutely be able to protect their assets. But trolling is something entirely different. It allows people who have never participated in the development of the technology to basically frisk companies that are trying to innovate. Many times, these patents are incredibly broad, so broad that it's a wonder that they were ever awarded in the first place. Fortunately, the government has taken some action against patent trolling, and closed some loopholes that made patent trolls a lot more successful. For instance, in 2017, the Supreme Court ruled against the patent trolls in a landmark case. The trolls had been specifically choosing one district court to host their trials in, a court that was notorious for favoring the holders of the patent. They would choose this court because they had a much higher chance of winning the court case. But the Supreme Court ruled that the trials have to occur in the state in which the defendant is incorporated, thus limiting the patent troll's ability to select a more favorable court. But that doesn't mean the problem is solved. So what would a company do if they're concerned about patent trolling? They have a few options. For starters, many companies monitor patent applications to make sure that there aren't any new patents in the works that could affect their business. This might be a little challenging for smaller companies, but the big ones can definitely afford to do this. Another option is to search the database of existing patents before starting work on a new project. This ensures that you won't be surprised when a new patent comes out of the woodwork. It also enables you to purchase any patents that you find might compete with your project. A famous example of this is when Thomas Edison purchased a patent by two Canadian inventors before starting to work on the light bulb that he wanted to develop. If a company does fall victim to patent trolling, they don't just have to roll over either. They can aggressively litigate the validity of the patent. This usually involves attempting to find some technology that preceded the patent that effectively revokes the patent's exclusivity claims. This is called finding prior art, and many companies have gone this route. In one case, a company called Cloudflare even offered a $50,000 reward to the public if anyone could find prior art that would shred the patents of the troll. Sometimes the troll will even back down when threatened in this way, because they know that their patent resides on shaky ground. Remember, most patent trolls are only in it for a quick buck. If a company comes back at them with an even stronger threat of their own, the trolls will likely back off in favor of easier prey. In the end, patent trolling is a pretty low way to make a quick buck. It stifles innovation in the marketplace, and in general is an unethical practice. If you are actually defending a patent that your company has either developed or purchased for direct use, it is totally ethical to go after companies that are seeking to undermine your research. But if your company's sole purpose is to accumulate patents and then go after companies that are seeking to innovate, well then you're just a leech on the system and providing no value. And ultimately, the purpose of all business is to provide value. Hey y'all, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.